thank you to Brian for your support on Patreon.
I should go. I step outside. The air is still kind of hazy, and I smell the smell of hot dogs is pretty palpable. I look over across the yard, and TJ and Jenna are sitting at the table. TJ's munching down on his third helping of cut-up hot dogs, while Jenna sits up top with her feet hanging off the side. It's kind of funny how small she is, like she never grew up past the age of 13. My mind drifts back to the other Fennecs at the smoke room, and they all kind of had that youthful appearance to them. Part of me wonders if that's part of the appeal. I'm surprised you were so comfortable walking around in there. I glance over my shoulder, looking back at the weather-worn house. Huh? Why? The spiders? You're still afraid of them, right? I'd been trying not to think about that the whole time, actually. I felt like there were lots of them in the house, even when I lived there, and that was with my parents bug-bombing the place every month. I resist the urge to reach down and rub my feet in case there were any walking around in my fur. Not, like, deathly. I cross my arms over my chest, tugging some of the fabric of my shirt. Right, of course. TJ snickers some. TJ pulls out her phone, beginning to tap away at the digital keypad. By the way, we found something else that might help you with your project. Oh? It's in my purse. Could you go grab it? Sure, what is it? Jenna doesn't answer, continuing her texting. TJ, meanwhile, seems to be grinning at his empty ketchup-covered plate. Oh, is this going to be that fucking... It's going to be a prank, isn't it? Jenna? Move over to the purse, unbuttoning the main flap. Always been a bit wary about going through girls' purses for obvious reasons. First thing I noticed, though, was a piece of folded paper with Chase written on the capital letters on the top. It looks like there's something wedged inside of it as well. Curious, I pull back the top of the paper and feel something fuzzy against my paw pads, and then bristling sensation, thin, prodding little things tickle up the fur of my fingers and squeeze one, and I yank it up. Dangling before me is an orange and black tarantula that's limbs bouncing from sudden pull of the force. Jesus fuck, they did it again. You fucking fucks, it's not cool. I toss it down to the dirt, seeming to bounce right back up and land sideways on my foot. Scramble back, kicking at it as much force as I can muster. Shit! My chest heaves as I feel like my heart is about to burst from my chest. The tarantula doesn't move, and that's when I realize Jenna and TJ are grinning at me. Jenna has her phone pointed in my direction. Jesus, she's filming this. Language, it's just rubber, Chase. That? I point at the limp, 8-legged thing that's now 3 yards away, stuck in a patch of goat head brambles. That is not funny. It is, actually. Oh, I'm sorry, Chase. It was Jenna's idea. It was 99 cents in the gas station we stopped back in the Two Canyons. No wonder you two wouldn't let me see what you bought. Did you guys actually have anything for me? I mean, regarding my project? TJ begins to look even more guilty. Jenna sets her phone down and goes about reclasping her purse. Not really, Chase. As you said, there wasn't much information about that 1877 happening. Most search results directed us towards dubious ghost hunting websites with no source for veracity that could be utilized in a formal report. Well, I sigh, stilling my swaying tail and feeling calm once again. Was there anything that could be used in a non-formal report? The Fennec cocks her head, her eyes seeming to look right through me as she thinks, before meeting my gaze once again. What do you want to know more about? The UFO spotted over Echo Canyon by a group of night hikers? The Masada ghost woman who wanders along the edge of the res, seducing men before impaling them on the branches of mesquite trees? Or perhaps the Mothman, who now apparently has been seen driving a semi-truck down Route 93 at midnight? Maybe he needed a side job. The economy has been tough lately. Let out an exasperated noise. Okay, I get your point. Although there were lots of mentions of the riots here. That includes the happenings in 1915, as well as some other unsourced stuff about violence after World War II. Just a general perception that we're all a bunch of desert malcontents living in some sort of Sodom and Gomorrah style situation for a century. Sounds about right. We even had a famous brothel that served all the miners in the area. A brothel? I look at TJ, who's frowning acknowledgingly. Does he really not know? It's a place where they make broth and other kinds of soup. I know what a brothel is. Jenna merely smirks and shakes her head. It was called the smoke room. Wait, what? I tense up and they seem to notice. Chase, is something wrong? The smoke room. Yeah. That still exists. I was there last night. You went to a brothel last night. Jenna says this less as a question and more of a deadpan matter of fact. What? No, it was this bar that Flynn went to. It's right north of the reservation. There's no sign for it or anything. It's just some sort of gay bar? A gay bar in this county? At least that's what it seemed like it was. I shrugged, trying to phrase this as carefully as I can without giving too much of the details. Everything smelled like cigarettes, and there was this really shady back room that they called the smoke room. That's... Jenna presses her knuckle into her lower lip, seemingly in thought. She glances up towards me after a moment. Interesting. With that look, I regret bringing it up already. Jenna seems to be maintaining this sort of intrigued expression. I begin bracing for any follow-up questions. What sort of music did they play there? Surprisingly, TJ is the first to speak. I don't see any sign of judgment on his face either, just genuine curiosity. It was sort of weird, actually. It was this sort of droning, bassy synth stuff. Really? Yeah, never heard anything like it. It was kind of loud, too. Not sure why you're asking. It's TJ's turn to shrug. Just curious. So, you went to a gay bar with Flynn named after an old famous brothel. I exhale, resting my paws on the edge of the table. It's not like that. Like what? Daxton, Carl, and I followed him after he left us in the middle of a hanging out last night. But he sort of... Well, I think he was trying to invite me to go along with him in his own sort of way. He left his phone behind with just one text message on it with the address. I think he wanted to see if I was interested enough to snoop through his phone instead of outright inviting me. It's hard to explain. Oh no, I understand completely. That sounds quite like Flynn. Very non-committal and giving himself something that he can hold against you, if need be, to protect himself from having any semblance of vulnerability. Jenna rubs the bridge of her small nose, still seemingly frustrated with Flynn's behavior. She reaches down, picking up a paper plate from beside her and shoving it into a plastic bag. I'm ready to head back to the motel. Chase, are you coming? Oh, sure. TJ begins cleaning up as well, moving to drag the picnic table back to its appropriate yard. I help. Fade out, fade out, fade out, motherfucker! I sit cross-legged on the edge of the bed with a notebook in my lap. I'm sort of half planning out my script and half kicking myself for not doing a lot of this preliminary stuff earlier. I'm also kicking myself for not getting any scans of the photos and the documents I found in City Hall. The B-roll I've got doesn't quite cut it. Having actual historical papers with pictures of Echo inhabitants that aren't available online might actually look good for my portfolio. At least that's what Jenna said. I kind of doubt that they're open on Saturday, so I'd have to talk to Flynn. And Flynn still wants me to assist him with his whole interrogation he has planned. Or at least stay out of the way. For now, I just want to focus on my project. Currently, Jenna is tapping away at her laptop on the side of the room, although she seems more distracted than she was at the beginning of this trip. TJ has the TV on to some behind-the-album rock music history show that he's pretty engrossed in by the looks of it. He lays beside me, his back propped up by my pillows. After a few more scribblings for my outro, I toss aside the notebook and slink on over to the other side of the room. Take a few packets of the candy egg oatmeal that we've got about 20 of and empty them onto the complimentary styrofoam bowls on the table. I know it's for the kids, but I've always kind of liked this stuff. So does Bri, actually. She gets those specifically, the dinosaur ones. I'm a sucker for anything that's bland as hell with the tiniest bit of sweet add-ins, like the oat bran cereal with dehydrated marshmallow bits. I fill the bowl with water about a centimeter higher than the top of the oatmeal. I lift a little bit of maple cinnamon dust rises from the mixture. Hopefully this pack isn't too old. I didn't check on the expiration date before grabbing it from my dorm room. I bring the mixture to the microwave and set it for 1 minute. On the TV, some raccoon is talking about how their music videos went viral back in 2006 and how the fame went to the bandmate's head. It's weird to think that 2006 was nearly 10 years ago at this point. I remember watching shows like this with my mom as a kid, and they were always about hair metal bands from the 80s and 90s. Each episode was full of grainy, old-packed film photographs of the alleged happier days of the famous Focus superstar. Has me thinking about how much stuff like that there is from my childhood. There's nearly a gig of video... A gig? Oh, yeah, a gigabyte. Of videos on my old laptop ranging from home movies, machinima, to class projects I did with the group. Plus, all my social media posts are still there. It's not like those days are faded memories from a sepia-tinted photo roll picture. It's right there in full 1024 by 768 aspect ratio a few clicks away. Maybe that's why I don't think about Echo with as much nostalgia as someone like TJ, or well, Leo for sure. Speaking of, I checked my phone a little while ago. He hasn't texted me. Microwave beeps and I take the oatmeal out of the microwave. The directions say to leave it in for 2.5 minutes, but I always think it's like overkill. I like it a bit soupy. I'm gonna take a shower. Do you guys want anything? I blink. What? TJ stares blankly at us. Do we want anything from the shower? Jen, after a couple of seconds, looks up from her laptop at the links. TJ? He looks as if he's come to some realization, then quickly covers his face with his paw. I meant... Forget that I said the second part. I shift awkwardly, a bowl of oatmeal in paw. I didn't get much sleep last night. Jenna sighs. It's okay, neither did I. I didn't wake you guys when I got in, did I? No, we were already pretty much awake. That man shouting in the parking lot was making me uneasy. I didn't hear any of that. Jenna lowers the top of her laptop some, though not closing it all the way. It started a little before midnight. You hadn't arrived yet. It sounded like he was walking around all around the motel. He even screamed at our window. Was he yelling anything in specific? No, he was just shouting. I heard a few words here or there, but it never was like any full sentences or anything. He just sounded really, really mad. Or sad. TJ pauses, looking at the bowl I'm holding. Or scared, I don't know. Part of me wanted to call Leo. I can't help but smile a little at that. Really? Oh. I didn't actually. Leo the Protector. I can't believe all this time TJ still sees Leo that way. I called the police. They said they sent a patrol car, but I never saw one show up. Yeah, I eventually just left. A little before you showed up, actually. Feels like everyone's on drugs in this town now. Now? Jenna retorts, looking at me with a raised brow. Well, I mean, it wasn't always this strange, was it? Even back growing up, I'd still wager that at least a third of the population was on heroin or worse. It comes with the territory. But I will say, I do somewhat agree with you. Echo depopulated by around 100 people since I was born. That in itself, and the other 2/3 of the population. Those that remained didn't have the same level of general township community that we once had, what little that it was. TJ nods, rubbing it at his wrists and looking towards the drape-covered window facing the parking lot. I remember when we used to have our own grocery store. Oh, speaking of, we ate at the diner after the hike yesterday. Julian works there and now is a busboy. You remember him, right? I think for a moment. Was he the green reptile kid who peed himself in AP Lit? TJ looks a little gassed. What? No! Then I don't know him. That was Cody. Wait, the Cody you dated? Jenna makes a slightly disgusted noise, shaking her head. You're thinking of upstate Cody. I never got to meet him. Yes, well... Jenna lets out a little puff of air, pushing up her laptop screen again and typing something. Neither did I. She stops for a moment, turning back to look at me. May I have some of that? My oatmeal? Sure. I hand her the still warm styrofoam bowl with a spoon. Damn it, I wanted that. And of course she's digging out all the sugar dinosaur eggs first. So, right, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Julian was telling us that the diner will still probably end up closing down at the end of this year. And maybe if they're lucky. That's like the last business in town besides the motel. The last legitimate business, you mean? I see Jenna nod before taking another bite of my oatmeal. It's no wonder that the people act weird. Even Leo, Carl, and definitely Flynn are different. Did you guys see Janice again after what happened on the road? TJ nods uneasily, the Lynx beginning to busy himself gathering up a fresh set of clothes. I asked her if she was okay or needed any help, and she said she was fine. Great, even. But she looked really bad. TJ picks up some of the red pajama pants that have faded little Christmas ornament symbols stitched in around the bottoms and pine tree decals on the waist. He also, a bit more discreetly, grabs a pair of bright red underwear and quickly hides them in the folds of the pants. I wonder if he's matching the two intentionally. And I don't mean like ugly, I mean she was kind of grimy and smelled like raw meat. She was definitely on something, TJ. I hope not. TJ turns, shuffling himself into the bathroom. The door shuts. You know, Jenna sits up some. I think it was Clint. Jenna is speaking to me, but her eyes are on her laptop. Huh? The man outside that was screaming. At first I thought he had Jeremy with him, and God, just the thought of that makes me want to get out of this town and not look back. I don't blame you, but Clint? Judging from popular television growing up, it seems like everyone alive has had a childhood bully, some with multiple. We had Clint and his little gang of assholes, Jeremy, Micah, well, even Heather sometimes. Thing is, in a town of 50 people, escaping your bullies is near impossible. I know that for a fact! They're everywhere. They hate you, they hurt you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Until Leo did something about it. Well, I never had a fucking Leo. I still remember the squelching noises Clint made as Leo hit him over and over again outside of his own trailer. Leo didn't speak any English, and they were all a couple years older than us, but that didn't stop him. I didn't know things would have turned out I don't know how things would have turned out if he never moved here. The voice, it had a certain cadence to it that reminded me of him. I resigned myself to the notion that Jenna has eaten all of my oatmeal at this point. We go over to the microwave and grab another styrofoam bowl and a couple of more packets. I can already tell that there's not going to be enough left for really be satisfying. I assume you haven't gone to see Jeremy and the rest of the family either then. No, and I doubt I will. By the way, how are you doing? I look over my shoulder. She seems to be deciding on the font for whatever she's typing away at. Catching my glance, she meets my gaze for just a moment. And I don't just mean in general. Any sleep issues? And of course, she changes the topic just like that. Sleep issues, as she calls them for my sake. I pour some water on the oatmeal. No paralysis, just sort of strange, really lucid dreams. I think my subconscious wants me to shave off my goatee. This may be the one time where you should listen to the voices in your head. I make a growling noise that comes out less intimidating than I intended. Jenna doesn't look up. What are those dreams like? I let out a long exhale, placing the oatmeal in the microwave. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm just tired and it's mixing badly with my current mental state. I've been kind of crawling in my skin since I got here. I saw a face behind someone's shoulder that really wasn't really there last night. It wasn't something I thought about much at the time. I was already upset, but the more I dwelled on it, I don't know. I shrug, waving dismissively as I take my bowl. When I look at Jenna again, I see the fur on her neck is lifted a little. Probably just the angle, though. You right? Jenna looks back at me. I can tell she's debating whether or not to tell me something. I wait. Just made me think about when I was a kid. Hadn't thought about it for years, actually. I pause. Do you want to talk about it? I'm worried I'm about to open a can of worms. It wasn't traumatizing or anything like that. Well, it was, actually, but it wasn't real. Did you see a face? Yeah. It was a reddish color. Flat, too. Oh. Yeah. It had a body as well. But I can't really remember exactly what it was like. Did you dream it? No, not really a dream. At least not in the sense that I was asleep when it happened. I just see it walking around in broad daylight sometimes. The hell? Are these, like, real solid memories? Like it really happened? I don't know. It usually happened when I was sad or angry, like when Dad was having one of his moments. You mentioning that you saw something while you were upset reminded me of it. I just see it walk past the doorway or sit in a closet. Really? What the fuck? This was a long time ago, like when I was 5. I don't want you to think I'm crazy, Chase. I don't. I saw things too as a kid. I mean, more things. Yeah, I think you told me. I had, and it's something that I really don't want to think about right now. I'm pretty sure it's just something that my mind made up because I was under a lot of stress. The brain can make up whatever it wants, really. Part of the reason I went into the field that I did. I want to help figure these things out. Do you see it anymore? At all? She's quiet for a while, then shakes her head. No. Saturday. What the fuck? What? What? This is the beginning of the last day for Flynn's route? And it starts with a boxing ring? Or a wrestling ring. Usually wrestling has a little more space between the crowd and the audience, between the crowd and the ring. I stand above the turnbuckle, holding my arms high above my head and flicking my strong tail behind me. I hear a lot of boos in the crowd, and that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, it's wrestling. I'm a bad guy, or rudo, as they call it here. I'm not actually a bad guy for real, though. It's just an act. So it's wrestling. The flashing out cameras is a little distracting, but it's nothing I can't handle. I am good at keeping cool. I reach up, making sure my mask is secure. That's another big staple of... It's lucha libre. Mexican wrestling. Making sure my mask is secure. Even my muzzle is covered. I can't risk my identity being revealed. Especially in a match against Tigre Santos. He's one of the technicos, the good guys. A real goody tissues? Goody tissues. Goody two-shoes. Fucking really. I don't trust him. He's too good. I don't trust people that are too good. They're always hiding something. The announcer says something in Spanish that I don't understand, and I growl, flexing my giant muscles towards nobody in particular. Tigre has been staring at me from across the ring this whole time. No showboating, though, and that's not his character. At like 7.5 feet tall, I'm totally bigger than him. He's only 5'6", so I could basically eat him for breakfast. The crowds always cheer for the smaller guy, though. That's true. I don't. Small guys can be just as big as the bad guys, maybe even worse. Just as bad as the big guys, maybe even worse. And look at the crowd. There's a couple of thousand people here, which is a lot. Sometimes I wish I could just tell them all the truth. The bell rings. It's time. Hey! Dad yells from the kitchen. I flinch as I feel like my stomach is suddenly tied in a knot. Not now, please. Dad walks in. He's wearing all camouflage with an undersized scout cap that seems to squeeze his head. What are you doing? I look down at my feet and pick out some fibers of the rug. I don't respond. I hear him step in front of me. The crowd chanting at the TV catches his attention and stops. You know you can't be watching this. And you also know what today is. You're still in your pajamas. Watching this. Dad lets out a noise I really can't describe. I look up and he's pointing at the TV. He stands there watching for a moment. What are you doing to that other man? German suplex! And this is fun for you? You enjoy watching this? I don't know. It was just on. I lie. Dad looks down at me and I can't tell whether he believes me or not. When I say something, you need to listen. Last night I told you to be dressed in the clothes I gave you and be ready to go by 5. It's over 15 past 5 and you're not even dressed. I'm sorry, okay? Dad sighs, stepping out of the room. His footsteps are heavy, like he doesn't care that Mom and my brothers are still trying to sleep. Next thing I know, he's back in the living room. He tosses another camouflage outfit into my lap and sets a rifle on the couch.
When your mother and I talked about sending you up north to your uncle, we were not joking.
Dad. He points again at the TV.
And there's certainly no television up there, no violent video games, and no adults that tolerate this sort of behavior.
I ball my paws up into my fists, pushing them into my stomach. Don't say anything. Anytime you say anything, it makes it worse. Dad looks at my paws, then lets out a strained, amused-sounding grunt.
What, are you gonna hit me? Do you want to punch me now? Is that what you're learning?
Again, he's pointing at the TV. His eyeballs are bulging and his mouth is hanging wide open. The way his hat tugs at his head makes him look different, scrunching his features. I don't know why he's wearing it. It looks uncomfortable.
I'm so sick of your behavior. We are all so sick of your behavior.
I feel my breathing start to get shaky. Don't cry. Don't give him the satisfaction.
Are you sick?
He just keeps staring at me, that same expression on his face. I drop Tiger's torso down on my knee, a backbreaker. The crowd roars. I'm grinning beneath my mask, playing up the part, through all the jeering and the hatred. They may love to hate me, but that's still love. Tiger has been getting a lot of good blows in, though. Actual blows. He stiff arms like nobody's business. I'm a little bloody, but that's okay. I'm tough. That's my thing. I'm tough.
I'm really tough.
But so is Tiger. He's small, so he's got a lot of finesse, and he can dodge a lot of my stuff. I climb over the top rope and onto the floor mat below. They always keep a few goodies beneath the ring for people like me. Pulling the flap behind a pile of long wooden staves. Kendo stick?
These could cause some pain.
I yell to the crowd and they boo in response. They're really, really mad. You do not fuck around with the rules in Mexico, brother. Tiger's still groaning, prone on his belly. As I approach, he mutters something in Spanish that sounds like a bunch of cuss words. Not so good after all, I guess. Time to get revenge for all those stiff hits from earlier. With a mighty heave, I bring the staff down on the Tiger's back. He practically bounces, and a lady fan of Tiger in the crowd screams. Realizing how hard I'm hitting now, he quickly scrambles up to his knees. Though I just hit him to get right back down. That's what you get. His shoulder twitches and he quickly clutches it with his free hand, rolling onto his stomach. More curses. I hit him again, this time with the soft of his stomach. There's no referee to help him now. I hear him gasp, holding out his paw in front of him, trying to protect himself. This time I hit him in the crotch. Not that there's much to hit. He has a little penis and balls because he's so small. Mine are huge, of course. I have to wear like a super big cup that looks like that so things don't flop around. I drop down on him, grabbing him by the scruff of his spandex leotard. He whimpers beneath me, his black and orange tail coiled inwards between his legs. I lower my voice, speaking at a deep, raspy tone. Don't stiff arm me again like that or else, Tiger Santos. I think he quivers out an I won't. He's probably so humiliated now. His eyes are like saucers looking at me and waiting to see what I do next, like completely at my mercy and everything. I bet he'd be really humiliated if I, unmasked him. You do not do that! You do not do that! And then I'll pull him up and hug him in front of everybody. He'd be so ashamed. I'd show them that I'm the real good guy. Maybe he'd like that and feel better. That's fine too. I place my thumbs beneath the bottom of his mask and pull up. No, you do not unmask a fucking luchador. You do not do that. That is super disrespectful. A wrestler's mask is their whole identity. You do not fuck with a wrestler's mask. Dad's gunshot rings out so loud it seems to shake the leaves off the trees nearby. Some kind of bird falls from the sky. I think it's a dove because it's all white and stuff. At least it was white. I actually saw a pink mist and the bird shot hit it like in the movies. The rest of the flock keeps flying as if nothing had happened. Dad looks over his shoulder towards me, his eye breathing heavy. You see little wisps of fog as he exhales. It's that cold. It seems to take him a while to speak.
You see that?
Yeah. He smiles tightly.
I got him.
You did.
I'm gonna go grab the carcass. You stay put, alright?
Okay. Dad turns back, jogging across the dewy grass towards where the bird fell. I adjust myself some and lean against the nearby tree. I wish I was home. My friends are all still probably sleeping in, enjoying their warm, heated houses and all that. I can't focus here. It sucks, but Dad really wanted to go bird hunting. I asked him yesterday why he couldn't just do it all alone, and he and Mom just got really mad. I don't even know what sets them off anymore. It could just be the littlest thing, and suddenly everything is all shitty. My rifle is kind of neat, I guess. It's a .22. I played a zombie shooting game at Chase's. Oh! This is Sydney! I forgot they even mentioned that Sydney liked wrestling. Oh, shit! Oh! Where's Sydney right now? Ha ha ha! Oh! You fucker! Oh, shit! I was like, why the fuck is Chase watching wrestling? I played a zombie shooting game at Chase's place that had the exact same kind in it. It's really, really loud, though. Dad made me wear these big ear protectors, so that's still super intense. I swivel it around in my arms before bringing the butt up to my shoulder and looking down the sights. I pretend the bush I'm aiming at is a zombie. I could survive in a zombie apocalypse pretty well, probably. Oh, shit! Remember how we were fucking gossiping about an accident? I don't remember. Oh, shit. They said it was a hunting accident, and Sydney got all upset because we were talking about it, and... Oh! It's all tying together! Vince McMahon! There wouldn't be many zombies in Echo. Nearly everyone in town has guns. I just go to Carl's house. It's already like a fortress, and he has tons of food and games. Yeah, we all know how this is gonna fucking end. We'd be set. I hear Dad's footsteps and quickly lower the rifle.
That's right, keep that down.
He holds up a pretty messed up looking bird, its neck half missing and blood still drips from the hole there.
You've never eaten dove, have you?
No.
It's like chicken, but stringier.
I raise an eyebrow. Like string cheese, but chicken.
Not exactly, but... well, you'll just have to try it.
Okay.
Now, let's see if you can shoot something.
Dad steps behind me, placing his paws on my arms and straightening my posture.
Now, remember what I told you. Always fire on the exhale. Don't flinch at the kick either. The gun won't smack you if you got a good grip on it and your eye isn't touching the sight.
I'm not afraid to shoot a gun like TJ or Carl probably would be. Just a little nervous about the recoil. That's all. Suddenly Dad grabs my shoulders.
Look!
He points toward the sky directly above us. A bunch of birds in V-shaped formation are overhead.
Those are ducks! Duck's great! You've had duck before and loved it. Now you can get your own duck. Hurry, get sighted!
I scrambled to get the gun up and aimed, my eye lined up with the sight.
Come on!
I'm trying! The ducks are already getting pretty far ahead. I can't seem to get lined up right.
Give it to me!
No, I've got it! Next thing I know, Dad's wrenching the butt from my shoulder and bringing the rifle up to his. It only takes him a few seconds to get ready before firing. Just like before, the bird falls from the flock, plummeting to the ground and past a clearing of trees. This time, the flock breaks up, scattering. Dad turns, pushing the length of the rifle against my chest.
Take your gun.
I clutch onto it with bare hands, and Dad starts making his way forward. I follow.
Why didn't you fire?
I was going to. The aiming thing, the sight, wasn't lining up with my eye. I needed to get it lined up right, or else I was gonna miss.
Son.
And then you just yanked it away.
You're not listening to what I was telling you, just like what I was saying this morning.
Dad's voice raises.
You just can't do anything like you're told, can ya?
My fingers grip my rifle tighter, and it's like everything goes red. I can't! You were being an asshole! Asshole! I yell so loud that my voice cracks. Oh, you fucker. Dad turns slapping me so hard it makes my ears ring more than the gunshots do. My face burns and I growl into the inside of my jacket. A lump forms in my throat as I try to swallow it down. I'm tough. I'm okay.
Who taught you to speak like that?
Nobody!
Oh no, I think I know who. It was Flynn, wasn't it? It was right for you to, it isn't right for you to hang around a boy like that.
What do you even mean?
All the kids around Echo and you cling to the teenage potty-mouthed gay boy. Ooh, goddamn. And look what happened.
Shakes his head, eyes wide again like he can't believe that he's seeing when he looks at me.
You defy your parents to sit around at 5 in the morning watching men grope and hit each other.
I'm breathing so hard now, it feels like I'm hyperventilating. Fuck you! Wrestling's cool and Flynn is awesome! Dad looks downright disgusted now, like he's gonna be sick. The insides of his ears are bright pink with flush, too.
You're sick. When we get home, we're sending you up north to the ranch. I don't care if we have to pull you out of school right now.
You mean the compound? Now he's clenching his fists, his tail arched and still behind him.
Your mother and I have prayed and prayed, but son...
Why don't you ever leave me alone? You're so fucking bad, you know that, stupid asshole? Dad steps forward, fist raised. I bring my rifle up and aim at him. He stops.
You are sick.
Never heard Dad speak with so much hate before. That being said, I've never been this angry before either.
You're pointing a rifle at your own father. You gonna shoot me, huh?
I just don't want you to hit me! I yell so loud my voice shifts to a shrieking scream, the rifle shaking in my paws. Everything's all blurry and I can feel my nose running.
You deserve to be hit.
Words make my stomach hurt for some reason. I throw down the rifle onto the grass and face him. No, you do! You're so awful! I hate you so much. God damn! You won't leave me alone, you shit! All you do is threaten me and threaten me and threaten me! And Mom doesn't care! Nobody cares! My throat burns as I swallow back a blubbering cry. Dad's shaking now. He doesn't even look like Dad anymore.
I don't know what in God's name Flynn has done to you.
You're just mad because you don't have any friends. You don't even have a job. You suck. You're so shitty. You're pathetic. I've hated you for so long. Nobody likes you. I run north, tripping over myself constantly as I can barely see where I'm going. Everything hurts. My insides are burning. Nothing will ever be the same again. I can hear him behind me, panting, furious like a feral. I come through the clearing, then I hear him stop. When I turn around, he's not looking at me anymore. The duck that Dad had shot landed squarely on the hood of an abandoned van. Dad looks at the duck, the van, me, then the sky itself. He sets the rifle down on the ground and crouches down to the haunches. His knuckles hang limp on the grass. What is he doing?
Son.
What?
Pray with me.
I can't help but make a sputtering noise. Why? Dad doesn't respond. I don't believe in any of that. I just did it because you made me do it. Dad begins to shake again, staring at the van before closing his eyes.
Dear God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Fuck! 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 Fucky fuck!
Holy shit! he either shoots himself or Sydney has to shoot him in self-defense, but that was fucking intense, wasn't it? Well, I guess that's it for this episode of Echo. Oh, man. All right. Well, thank you all very much for watching. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I've been the trained up professional speaking for myself. And Jesus, when I say until next time, fare thee well.